Welcome to the Scenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
Welcome to the deep dive. We know exactly why you're tuning in. You're navigating this world that feels like it's just always on. You know, the constant phone buzz, the pressure at work, trying to perform at 110% all the time. And let's be honest, sleep often gets pushed aside, right? And that relentless pace, it's not just making us tired, it's putting a real measurable strain on our brains. So if you're like most of us, you're probably looking for ways to hold on to that mental clarity, sharpen your focus, maybe get a bit of an edge against all that information coming at you. And what our sources are showing is that this search, this collective need for cognitive support, it's fueled a huge global trend. Brain health supplements are absolutely exploding. People are definitely looking for what they see as gentler, more natural ways to boost daily mental performance and think about long-term brain wellness too. We really dug into the research for you today. Our mission here is to walk you through the, frankly, staggering market growth, what consumers are actually asking for, importantly, which ingredients really have the science backing them up. We want to help you cut through some of that marketing noise and see what actually holds water when it comes to supporting memory, focus, and that feeling of clarity.
Exactly. Think of this as your map through the maze. We're filtering out the hype to give you clear, actionable insights. But first, to really grasp why this is happening now, we need to look at the big societal currents, the forces pushing millions towards these supplements.
Yeah, let's unpack that, because this market isn't just growing out of casual interest, is it? It feels driven by a real need. The data shows basically two massive trends putting serious pressure on our cognitive abilities. First off, there's this rising tide of cognitive strain, just general stress directly linked to modern life, high-pressure jobs, maybe not enough sleep consistently, and being glued to screens pretty much constantly. It all adds up.
It really does. It puts this extra physiological load on the brain. We're essentially asking our brains to run harder for longer than ever before.
And that pressure is causing a real shift in how people think about health.
Spot on. And that leads right into the second major driver, this strong focus on prevention. People are actively trying to maintain their brain health for the long haul. It's not just about worrying about decline much later in life. It's about optimizing how you feel and function right now. So supplements are seen as part of a long-term strategy, to keep mentally sharp. People might start thinking about this decades before serious memory issues would typically even be on the radar.
It's interesting how people perceive these options. You mentioned they're seen as gentler or natural compared to, say, traditional pharmaceuticals. Are the sources clear on whether that gentler idea comes from solid clinical data, or is it more about, marketing and general wellness trends?
That's a really crucial point the research dives into. The perception is definitely strong that these support everyday performance. It appeals broadly. Students, professionals, older adults, they're all focused on maintaining cognitive function. The gentler appeal often comes from the fact that many key ingredients are herbal, not synthesized in a lab. For many consumers, that translates, psychologically at least, into feeling like there are fewer side effects. Now, whether the clinical proof is equally strong for every product out there, that's another question.
Right.
And this push towards science-backed claims and transparency we're seeing, that's a direct response to consumers demanding proof that these things actually work and are safe.
And when you see just how many people across all age groups are taking this preventative approach, well, it's obvious we're way past a niche market here. We're talking about a serious global financial commitment. Let's put some numbers on this boom, because the scale really jumped out at us from the documents. This global brain health supplement market, it was pegged around, $7 billion back in 2025?
That's right. And the projections for where it's heading are pretty dramatic. Now, you see slightly different figures depending on exactly which slice of the market. Analysts are looking at memory aids versus focus enhancers, for instance, but the overall picture is clear. Massive growth. We're looking at forecasts hitting anywhere from, say, $11.1 billion by 2032.
Okay.
All the way up to a potential $15.44 billion by 2030 in some segments.
15 billion. Wow.
That kind of rapid growth translates into a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, somewhere between 6.8% and a really significant 12%.
12% growth in a health market.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not just a passing trend. That signals a fundamental shift.
Exactly. It reflects this deep collective demand for better brain function. It makes you pause and think, doesn't it? How much collective stress and desire for optimization is actually measured in those billions?
So apart from the general modern life stress we talked about, what else is specifically pouring fuel on this fire?
Well, the research points to two main engines powering this surge. First, just a fundamental increase in awareness. People now widely see cognitive health as being just as vital as physical health.
It's not just a side concern anymore.
Not at all. It's become central. And second, you absolutely cannot ignore the impact of our aging population. It's a huge factor. As global life expectancy goes up, you simply have more older adults actively seeking ways to preserve memory and reduce the risks of cognitive decline. They form a large and growing consumer base willing to invest consistently.
Okay, so the money's flowing, people are getting older, feeling more stressed. But what are they actually spending these billions on? What do they want from these products? This brings us to how consumer demands are evolving. It's not enough anymore to just slap focus on a label. The trends show people want more sophistication. A really big shift is towards what the industry calls the clean label movement. Consumers are scrutinizing labels like never before. They're demanding natural, minimally processed ingredients. And crucially, they want total transparency about where ingredients come from and how the product is made.
Yeah, they want the full story. No hidden ingredients, no confusing jargon, just clarity.
Exactly. They want to know precisely what they're putting into their bodies.
And that demand for clean labels links directly to another major trend, the desire for multifunctional benefits. People don't just want one effect anymore. They're looking for products that can, say, improve focus and reduce stress and maybe even help with sleep all in one. They want efficiency.
This is where those adaptogens really come into play, isn't it? They often form the backbone of these multi-benefit formulas. Just quickly for our listeners, adaptogens are fascinating. They don't just target one specific thing like focus or calm. They work by helping your body manage stress, sort of normalizing cortisol levels, so they can potentially help you feel both calmer and more alert. It's that kind of multitasking benefit consumers are really going for.
That's a great way to put it. They help the body adapt. And this move towards these more complex, multifunctional formulas is exactly why clinical proof and brand trustworthiness are becoming paramount. Consumer confidence is definitely growing, partly because there's more clinical research emerging that will confirm some of these established ingredients actually work. Plus, regulations are tightening around safety and claims.
Makes sense.
So the brands that are really investing in the science, backing up their claims, and being totally open about it, those are the ones gaining consumer trust. They're showing the product isn't just hype, there's evidence behind it.
Okay, fantastic. That sets the stage perfectly for the most practical part of this deep dive for you, our listener. We've looked at the trends, the market size. Now, let's get specific about the ingredients you should actually be looking for. We've sifted through a lot of studies for you. Generally, these supplements use things like vitamins, omega-3s, various herbal extracts, and as we just discussed, adaptogens. But which ones consistently show up with strong evidence? What names should you actually recognize on a label?
Right. Based on the sources, we pulled out 5 key ingredients that have substantial scientific backing for cognitive support. These are the ones to keep an eye out for, and each is known for slightly different aspects of brain health. First up, omega-3 fatty acids. Specifically, you hear about EPA and DHA a lot. Think of these as, well, fundamental building blocks.
Foundational, okay.
Exactly. They're crucial for the actual structure and function of your brain cells. Getting enough helps support how neurons communicate. They really are essential for basic brain maintenance.
Got it. Structural integrity. What about ingredients more targeted towards, say, performance or memory itself?
Okay, that brings us to a couple of powerful herbal extracts. The first one is Bacopa Monnieri.
Heard of that one?
Yeah, it consistently shows up in studies linked specifically to learning, memory formation, and how quickly you recall information. It seems to work by enhancing certain neurotransmitter pathways. Then there's Ginkgo biloba. This one's often marketed quite broadly, but its main validated function seems to be supporting healthy blood flow to the brain.
Circulation.
Precisely. Better blood flow means more oxygen and nutrients get delivered upstairs, which can translate to better overall alertness and attention.
Okay, so Bacopa for the learning process, Ginkgo for the delivery system and staying alert. That clicks. What else is important beyond herbals?
We absolutely have to mention phosphatidylserine. Sounds a bit technical, I know.
It does, yeah.
But it's really important. It's a type of fat, a phospholipid, that's a major part of brain cell membranes. It helps keep those membranes fluid and functioning properly, which is vital for nerve signals and memory processes. It's often studied for its potential role in slowing down age-related cognitive decline. Basically, it helps keep the brain's internal communication network running smoothly.
Right, keeping the wires connected and firing properly. Makes sense. And the last one.
And finally, let's not forget the basics. The B vitamins, particularly B6, B9, which is folate, and B12. Now, these might not give you that immediate on feeling like an adaptogen might, but they are absolutely essential. They're key players in energy metabolism within the brain and in creating neurotransmitters. Critically, they help manage homocysteine levels. High levels are linked to cardiovascular issues and cognitive problems. So think of B vitamins as supporting the brain's overall energy efficiency and long-term health.
That's a great summary. So we have structure with omega-3s, learning with Bacopa, circulation with Ginkgo, signaling with phosphatidylserine, and the underlying energy mechanics with B vitamins. Covers a lot of ground. Now, before everyone listening rushes off to buy everything we just mentioned, we absolutely have to cover the crucial caveats, the warnings that came up in the research.
Yes, absolutely critical. First, big one. Even with good studies behind these ingredients, how well they work can really vary from person to person. Brain chemistry is incredibly complex, it's unique. What gives one person a noticeable boost might not do much for someone else. Results aren't guaranteed to be uniform.
That's important to manage expectations.
Definitely. And number two, and we really can't stress this enough, please talk to your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider before starting any new supplement routine. This is especially vital if you have any existing health conditions, if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, or if you're taking any other medications. Interactions are a real possibility and need to be considered carefully.
Essential advice. So when it comes to actually choosing a supplement, the guidance seems to boil down to personalization, really. You need to figure out your primary goal first, right? Is it mostly about memory support? Or are you looking for better focus during the day? Or is managing stress the main objective?
Exactly. Define your need.
And once you know what you're aiming for, then you need to do your homework. Check the quality of the ingredients. Look into the brand's reputation for transparency. Do they share testing results? And see if there's solid scientific validation for that specific product or formulation.
Precisely. You've got it. And I think the big takeaway here is that these brain health supplements are moving beyond being just a niche wellness item. For many people, they're becoming or feeling like a necessary tool to try and maintain mental clarity and support long-term cognitive health in this really demanding, information-heavy world we live in.
It really does feel like a fundamental shift, moving away from just reacting to problems once they appear, towards this very proactive, preventative mindset about brain health. And it's clear that this shift is being propelled by both innovation in the market and this strong consumer push for quality, for transparency, and for ingredients that actually work. So building on that advice, matching the product to your need, let me leave you with one final thought to chew on as you think about your own long-term brain health. We talked about the core drivers being high stress, digital overload, maybe not enough sleep, all putting strain on the brain. If those are the root issues, is the ultimate goal of taking a supplement just about getting a temporary boost in focus? Or could the real long-term win be using that supplement-supported clarity and energy to tackle the source? To perhaps reorganize things, actively reduce that stress, and truly prioritize the deep, restorative sleep your brain desperately needs to function at its best. Something to consider.
Thanks for tuning in to the Scenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit scenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.